everyone. Good afternoon or evening or morning, depending upon where you are in the world. Welcome to another episode of Inspired by Jimmy L with this wonderful positivity conversation going on today. We have a Mr. Dr. Cooper is what I'm going to call you today. Coyte Cooper is on with us today, but he's not just an author. I've been introduced to him very recently, but he's not just an author. He's not just a speaker. And what I'm loving about him, the man is a coach. And I personally believe that he's a coach for the right reasons. And just because of the two people that referred me to him, and the things that they had to say about him, I now have the utmost respect for him. So I'm very interested to hear his questions, his answers to these questions. I'm freaking excited to hear the answers to these questions. But without further ado, Dr. Coyte Cooper, welcome aboard.
Well, thank you, man. I'm excited to chat with you, and I've heard good things about you as well and had a chance to check out your show. So it's an honor to be here and get a chance to visit with somebody who's just passionate about changing lives as well.
I love it. I freaking love it. Well, let's do that together. I'm going to hit you out. This one here is a little dark for me, so bear with me. But what excuses do you need to stop making right now, like today?
You know, I think about this quite a bit, and I think I'm getting to the point where I've carved out a lot of my excuses, and because a lot of times when you're trying to move and achieve really cool things, a lot of times you don't even realize you're making excuses. Your brain, what it will do is when it's afraid, it will just make things up. And so recently I was sitting and I was working and I was kind of confused. I'm like, I don't know what to do next. But when I really was honest with myself, I'm like, that's not true. I've got a list right here that says what I need to be doing. And I was reading a book about neuro-linguistic programming. It's something that Tony Robbins uses as a foundation of his career. And there's a whole science behind that. And one of them said that when you are confused, a lot of times it's code. And what that's code for is being afraid of something. And so I tracked back and I'm trying to go for some big things. Like I'd love to at some point be a New York Times bestselling author. I want to speak to millions of people. I have these big lofty goals, and yet I was here and I wasn't moving the way I wanted to be moving. And when I tracked back, I said, listen, this makes sense why I'm not moving. You know, I've had some experiences where I've had some failures and that was hard for me. And I don't know if that was necessarily an excuse, but my brain was taking and it was generalizing that to my current situation, and I was hesitating. So when I had to be honest with myself, when I was saying so here's the excuse. I was like, oh, I'm confused. And no, I'm not. I'm really actually a little bit afraid. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that.
At all.
You know, a lot of times we'll go, oh, I'm not afraid. No. You go, no, there's something here that I'm afraid of. The key is to find it, pinpoint it, because the moment you pinpoint it, you have this really unique ability. Like even sometimes for me, it just goes away. Once I know it, it disappears. But now I just know. And another common excuse I have in addition to that I've had in the past is I'll be moving into a space and, you know, I'll just be like, you know, oh man, there's so many people in this space, right? There's so many people that want to be a speaker. There's so many people that want to do this at a high level. And I don't know. I mean, I'll just say, man, it's just really cluttered. It's really hard to do that. And it's almost like an excuse, like, it's cool. You don't have to go do this because there's so many people there. Find something else. But for me, I've had to say, no. This is what I feel like I'm meant to do this. And I have to just rewire my mindset. And now it's like, I don't care if there's a million people doing it. You know, I'm going to go in and I invest in a way every single day that makes me crazy unique, you know, and I'm going to pour into helping people in a way that's unreasonable. And, you know, so for me, it's just, I get rid of that. And I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm really operating at a level that I'm happy with. And the next one will be setting higher expectations. But every time you set higher expectations, guess what? Here comes some of these limiting beliefs or excuses along the creep in. You got to go at them again. So you always have to weed those things out.
And one thing I've started to learn, I know my spiritual mentor, he's been working with me on meditation, and something that I've had to learn recently is that at the end of the day, fear is real. It's an emotion. It's an existing emotion. And who are you to deny the universe of actually making you feel that emotion? Now, how long you stay there, that's another story. You know, you can't use that as an excuse for too long. You know, experience the emotion and kind of allow life or the universe to just flow. And so I like that you said that. And obviously, this is what you're working on. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay.
And one thing I would
Go ahead.
one thing I would add there, you know, when you feel the emotion, a lot of times it's sort of this anxiety, right? You get this uneasy feeling. And I always tell people, I learned this from being an athlete. Don't over respond to that. It doesn't mean you don't have to look at it and go, gosh, I'm terrified, I'm so scared. And you don't have to then play negative things in your mind. It's more of a, you take it, you feel it, and you go, no, no, no. What this is signaling to me is that I got something good coming, and it's time to step up, and it's time to elevate
Positive
my
thinking.
game. And so I see so many people that get that, and they go, oh, I'm afraid, I can't do this. No, 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 just take it easy. Just take it easy. You know, don't make a big deal of it. Instead, say, this is trying to tell me something. And if you've prepared properly, what it means is it's time to step up now. And I had this with my TED Talk. I was definitely a little bit nervous in that way. And I had to remind myself, listen.
I bet.
Yeah, no, and it's like, you know what it is? But then you have to be like, I've prepared. There's nothing. I've done this thing so many times. I prepared. All this means is this is my body telling me this is a worthy thing. Go get it. And so you just have to change the way you see the things. Don't freak out about it. Just use it as an ally for yourself.
So, okay. So what motivates you?
You know, I think there's been a lot of pieces. And I think if I'm being completely honest, when I started my career, you know, you have pieces that are driven by, man, I want to go out and achieve these things to, you know, to feel good, to have a certain amount of status. And I try to carve that out as much as I can. I don't want that to be my driving force any day. But when I get up, I do a series of things to keep myself focused. And what motivates me first and foremost is, you know, I really want to be an amazing father and husband to my family. That's something that I tie up motion to every day. I think about, I want them to say I was just an amazing father who loved them unconditionally, who helped them believe in themselves, taught them lessons. I want my wife to say the same thing. So everything starts there with what I do is driven to be that. And then I extend out, you know, man, I want my life to matter. You know, I want to know that every day I'm using it up. I'm changing lives. I'm going out and I'm helping people live at a higher level. Because when I look around, what I see is I see a lot of people who aren't happy. I see a lot of people not satisfied. They don't feel right. And what I want to help them realize is you don't have to stay there, right? You don't have to be unhappy, stressed, overwhelmed. You change your approach and you can go out and you can create results that you love. And what I'm motivated by is helping people live lives that they're charged about. I love my life and I love it every day. I love it every single day. You know, I really do. And I just want people to understand that that's been a choice for me. It's not like I was just born like this kid's going to be happy every day of his life. Listen, I've experienced stress. I've experienced depression, all those things. And now it's just not something I do. And I want to teach people that you have a choice over your life. And so I want to be able to, whenever my time comes, to know that I've used up all of whatever the gifts I've been given. I've used them all out. And that charges me up, man. That's enough to get me up every day and loving what I'm doing.
That's life. And I love it. I love that. So, okay. So today, what about today? What made you laugh or smile today other than me?
Definitely you. And then
no fair.
Pretty much most days, my kids do something crazy to make me laugh, make me smile. But you know, one thing that made me smile today is I went up to Canada and I had to go drop some books off up there. And first off, that made me smile. I thought about 5 years ago, the idea of people, 250 signed books, them being so excited.
Wait a second. I saw you post that picture. Cool, I saw that picture. Yeah.
You start with that. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I have to drive up to there. It's 2 hours. I'm like, I'm not. I'm happy. You know, that made me happy. And then I have an amazing wife who just came with me to keep me company on the trip. And, you know, we get to talk. And she has to listen to me talk about all this psychology stuff I'm thinking about. But that kind of stuff just makes me smile. And by the time I get done, I'll go upstairs. And I can't even keep track. But my kids are going to say 10 things that will make me crack up. I mean, kids are just like little, like, just make you laugh. As long as you're not too serious and stuff, you just watch them. You just look at them. There's at least once a day where I will look at my kids and it just gives me this just overwhelming sense of gratitude because they're just amazing little human beings. I mean, they are crazy as all get out, but they're just amazing. And I'm telling you, every day there's something they do that just makes you so happy. So I mean, I don't have to look far. And that's the one thing I would tell you is I don't make standard for smiling or laughing. I don't make, it's not high. I mean, there's so many things I'm great. Let me backtrack. I woke up this morning and I was making a smoothie and I was listening to Lionel Richie's all night long, and I was dancing, and that made me smile real big. So there's so many things that made me smile and happy today. And I just think more people need to do that as well.
I was gonna say that is so good, and it's so important, because honestly, being able to not just laugh at life around you and be able to laugh at yourself and make lighthearted of things that you know realistically are not going to affect you 5 to 10 years from now, it really erases, and it slowly but surely, it kind of gets rid of that heavy weight of all of those burdens that we adults we carry. And, it's just consistently being piled on and piled on. But when you're able to make lighthearted or being able to laugh and just smile, just simply smiling, it does so much. Yeah. It does so much. Okay, well.
Yeah, and I would say this too, just in terms of just starting with gratitude. Like every day I'll go through and I'll write in my journal 3 things I'm grateful for. I'll take one thing that's really challenging in my life and I'll say, how am I grateful for that? I'm training my brain to find gratitude. I'm not training it to look for junk. Every day, I do it every single day because I want my brain to find gratitude. I want my brain to find passion, excitement. I don't want it to find the junk that everybody else is finding. So I'm directing it every morning.
But that's a process. It's a process. Yep. It's a muscle. Yep. It's what I'm learning. It's a muscle, and it has to be worked on every single day. Every day. Okay. I definitely, we're kind of getting out toward the end here. I try to stick to my 10 to 15 minutes max. Oh my gosh, I try to value everyone's time. So I've got to get your answers to this question. It's the reason, it's the basis for this show itself. I know that we're all drastically different. We all have different backgrounds, and our definitions are drastically different. And so I would love to hear yours. So how do you define success and happiness?
Well, I think those are great questions. And I think first off, success, I think there's so many ways that we can define it. I think there's different ways I've defined it in the past, but I would say success for me is getting up, knowing the areas where I want to be really great in my life, and then just putting a full effort to be as good as I possibly can. But in those areas, I know that I told you, I want to be great in my role as a husband and father. I want to be great in my role as a professional where I'm a coach, a speaker, and then my third, just health and vitality. My job every day is to be as good as I possibly can be. And I'm very intentional about that. Success for me is driven by how close I can get to my potential. And what generally happens is somebody go, oh, that's a soft response. No, it's not, because when I'm there, I'm starting to crush results in my life. And all the kind of other goals that I have are coming. And so it's that, and happiness for me is learning to love that process, loving all of it. It's easy when you hit a goal, like you go out and you have 250 signed books that you give this big talk and you feel great, you feel a high in it. But I love all the in-betweens. I love getting up the next day and honing my skill sets at 4 a.m. I love, just getting better at speaking. I love, being better as a father. And so happiness for me is getting up and controlling what I can control, which is living my days really well and being grateful for all the gifts that I have. So, happiness to me is a choice. I just get up and I'm going to do it. I'm going to be happy every single day.
I find it to be very interesting. And I don't know if the universe is trying to tell me something, but I'm definitely listening. Not that I've done 100 of these shows, but you're literally the second person to state that family is what's really most important and is more so of a motivation for you. But lastly, that you're enjoying this journey. Like the success, like it's not necessarily about obtaining the success of happiness. It's about the happiness that you feel along it. And it's really interesting that you really articulated it that way, because the person that, oh my gosh, Lu Wei just said this yesterday. I did his recording yesterday, and he said the exact same things. And so I don't know if that's for me or if it's for someone that's watching right now, but please, by all means, just grasp that.
Yeah.
And that, wow. Like I'm really kind of blown away by that. I'm really blown away.
And I think it's necessary, right? Because if you can't be happy in the in-between, if you're only happy when you hit your goals or you realize your measures of success by society, that means you're happy like 0.02% of the time.
Yeah.
And my thing is why not be really happy through all of it? And I just, and here's the thing, a lot of people say, oh, you can't, oh no, getting up early is a pain, doing this is a pain, getting rejection is a pain. No, it's not.
It's not.
Not if you get the right way. I love getting up at 4 o'clock to work on a book. I have learned to teach myself that getting rejected by a TED Talk or a publisher is a part of the process.
But it is.
People on the planet. She was rejected a bunch, you know, so it's just a part of it. And you have to teach your brain that you have to love earning it. You have to love getting in the middle of it and just embrace that part. And man, it's this rewarding, empowering place when you get to the point where you're like, I love all this. I love the in-between. I love creating the event. I love preparing for the event. I love delivering the event. I love the back end. I love all of it. And it's just a really neat place to be in. And it's something people should really push to get there.
See, that's why you're a damn good coach. Like, that's why, right there.
I love helping people, man. That's the one thing I'd say. For people who want to coach or you want to work with a coach, find somebody who's really passionate about what they do, not somebody who's collecting a paycheck. I think the people that work with me would tell you that of course I have to make some money with it, but I love what I do. I mean, it's not about that. And I think I was blessed to have parents and coaches early in my career. Mm-hmm. Like I have a coach named Ron, who was the best athletic coach I ever had, best coach period. Mm-hmm. And I remember, man, he made you so much better. And when people would say, hey, Ron, congratulations for helping this kid win a national title, state title, he'd always go, not me, this was them. This was them. They did all the work. And, you know, somebody who cared that much, that loved to just pour into us, and then to say, not us, them, that's what it's all about. Stepping into people's lives, changing it, and then it's not me. I'm not taking credit. I just want to put people into that place to where they can go out and get results and love their life, and then just know that, man, that's just an amazing place to be able to help people move through that process is pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys were drinking from the same Kool-Aid or some water or something. I can't, the exact same thing yesterday. Like the exact same thing. Well, technically last week, but it's when that would air. But oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna quit before I cry. This Mr. or Dr. Cooper, it has definitely been a pleasure to have you on today. And I cannot wait for this to air. And I'm going to make sure that I do all that I can to make sure that it reach as many people as I possibly can. And even me going back and forth and being able to go back and re-listen to this. Because this is just, but anyway, we're going to take that offline. I need to get a hold of you and just pick your brain just for a little bit and kind of get your wisdom. Your wisdom.
Let me know. And just thank you so much for getting a chance to visit with you, your audience, and for what you do. Just keep doing your thing, man. Keep impacting people's lives and, you know, do what you're meant to be doing.
Thank you. Well, with that being said, in the words of Norman Lear's, what I love every single day, to be continued.
Cool. Thank you, man.
See you. Have a good one.
You too.